All right, welcome to our East Division Coaches Roundtable. Cincinnati's got some last-minute travel situations, so we'll start with Tommy. We're going to go down the line and give everybody an opportunity just right off the top. Before we get into some big picture, college football, American Athletic Conference type stuff, going to start with some scouting reports on each of your teams and some guys that that we need to know about, guys that maybe we've never heard of that we need to know about. However you want to do it, and giving us kind of a thumbnail going into fall camp here. And Tommy, since you guys have to kind of skirt out of here a little bit early, we'll start with you.
All right, good. It's good to be here. And by the way, this is a good conference. 3 years I've been in it is really improved from top to bottom. I thought we were a little bit top-heavy the first couple of years. Now anybody can beat anybody, and so we've gotten much better. And it was obvious last year. Had some very good football teams. Quarterbacks have gotten better. We've got a lot of good quarterbacks and a lot of good athletes, and so watched that grow for 3 years, and it's been fun to watch. That being said, we've got a lot of work to do. Last year we were picked to win the conference, and we didn't hold up our end of the bargain. We didn't play very well. We were very good on offense, but we were very kind. We gave a lot of balls away through interceptions and fumbles. We had very good receivers. We had problems at quarterback, up and down, injuries. So we're going to have to grow it on offense this year. We lost 6 receivers. We've got some very good young ones, but they hadn't played near what the experienced guys had played last year. Our first order of business the next 2 weeks will be finding a quarterback. Hayden Moore, who finished spring at number 1. Ross Trail, true freshman that redshirted last year. He's number 2. Gunnar Keel's 3, only for the fact that Gunnar did not go through spring ball because of injured his shoulder in the second practice. But we've got a lot of work to do there. The area that we do have a lot of work, and we've not been very good, is defense for 3 years. The first year we were decent on defense. The last 2 years we have had no depth, and we've had problems with injuries. But I think we'll be much better. We've got everybody back. We had to play 10 freshmen last year. I hate playing freshmen. The first year, they're not ready to play Division I college football, but we played them for necessity. You can't win. This is my 20th year to be a head football coach in Division I. You can't win. You can win at home with offense, but you can't win on the road without defense. And we have not been very good defensively in the last couple of years, and we've paid a dear price. So that being said, we're much more athletic. The 10 freshmen we played last year have grown up. We lost very few defensively. We've got a good mixture of experience on the defensive side of the ball. Our punter and kicker are back. I think we'll have a better football team. That being said, we'll have to wait and see because I think our conference will be even better than it was last year from top to bottom. So it should be fun to watch. We play some very tough games, non-conference. All of our teams do. We held our head above water last year because of that, and I think this year we'll even win more of those games. So looking forward to the season coming up.
All right, Tommy Tuberville, head coach at Cincinnati. Up next, Scott Frost, new head coach at UCF.
Thanks, Brent. I'm excited to be part of the conference as a new head coach to start a head coaching career with the likes of some of the guys that are head coaches in this league. It is an honor. Really impressed with how the conference has put this together and the talent that I've seen here the last day and a half. We have a lot of work to do at UCF. But I think that work, a lot of it has been done, and I think the potential at UCF is absolutely unlimited. Last year, I think, kind of spun out of control and spiraled out of control on them, had some key injuries. We're a young team, and I think when things started to go bad, it kind of crumbled on them. Our first basically assignment when we got to UCF was to try to turn the culture and get everybody pointed in the right direction. Our guys were hungry for a new direction. They were excited for a new way of doing things and excited for a future. They've given us absolutely every ounce of effort they could possibly give us in the off season. I think we've made just about as much improvement as we possibly can in 6 months without playing a football game. Now it's time to play games. Looking forward to fall camp. We have a lot of competitions at positions that are still up for grabs. That being said, I think there's more talent on the team than the record last year showed, and we got quite a few good football players coming back for us. think the strength of our team, at least to start off the year, will be on defense. We have a lot more veteran guys on defense, a lot more guys with experience on defense. I think our secondary will be very good with 4 seniors. We've got some experience coming back at linebacker that feel good about, and a couple special players on the D-line. Offensively, we're going to be a little younger, but I think we got some key guys at those positions too. Justin Holman was hurt a lot of the year last year and has a good chance to be our starting quarterback going into game 1. Jordan Akins is one of our biggest playmakers on offense. He missed most of the year with an ACL, and he's back and looking good. Traquan Smith, one of our receivers, had a great year as a newcomer last year, and he's shown some good signs going into fall camp as well. I think we're probably going to have to rely on a lot of young guys that we've recruited and some young guys in our program that haven't played. But really looking forward to watching what the guys can do because they've given us a ton of effort, and the progress that they've made in a short amount of time is amazing.
All right. Good stuff, Scott. Bob Diaco of UConn.
Thanks, Brent. Thanks to everyone for coming. It's an honor for me to be here as a representative and ambassador of the University of Connecticut and speaking on behalf of the staff and the team. Being here, the best part is watching the players. I love bringing our players here, and they have so much fun, and watching them engage the other players from around the league, and then me even talking to the other players around the league, and our coaches talking to my team is just the best part of this whole 24-hour event here. So in that is why I'm so excited. I'm so excited about the fall 2016 because the investment made by the young men in our program has been profound. At every turn, they've given everything they possibly can. We've asked so much of them, and we continue to ask more and more, and they just continue to come and come. So we're a process-oriented group, so I don't necessarily look too far back or too far into the future. But you can't help but be confident and excited about the program in the fall 2016. We can understand why we didn't successfully finish some of the games from 2015, but the fact of the matter is it was a 4-quarter battle, and most of the people that participated in that season returned. So we have offensive continuity with system and tactical system. Most of the players that were a part of producing in games a year ago are back again on offense. Defensive continuity with staff and system, and most of the players that participated in 2015 are back for 16, and all the kicking specialists. Because we're a developmental program, we also attract developmental people. And being a developmental recruit and developmental player doesn't mean, oh, he needs to be developed. It has to be a prospect that allows for development. So whether it be character and communication or intellect, they have to allow for development. So I'm incredibly excited. I was excited about winter conditioning, where we put another coat of paint on our team. I was excited about spring football, where we put another coat of paint on our team. And I was excited about summer conditioning, especially with the new guys coming into the program that started in June. So we're getting better and better every day. We're building depth at all levels and at all positions with all roles. And we have now some stalwarts that understand how to play football at this level and play winning football. So we're going to continue that same mantra as we start camp. You wouldn't have had to be a part of a football camp to be excited about football camp. All you would have had to have been part of is summer camp. So going to summer camp, you collect with people that are like-minded, that have the same kind of interests, and you sequester yourselves somewhere in the woods or on your campus and intensely drill down and focus on the things that everybody loves to do. So we get started with that this week. I'm honored to be a part of it, and I'm looking forward to being together and back together as a football family. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thanks, Bob. Scottie Montgomery, new head coach at East Carolina.
Oh, thank you guys. First of all, Mike and Scott, this has been set up really nice for us, and I'm very happy to be the head football coach at East Carolina University and in Greenville. From day one when we got there, we had a great foundation. We felt with the way that our kids loved each other and the way that they worked. So we've been able to build on that. And every challenge that we've given those kids, whether it been discipline and conditioning phase of starting, what some people might call winter conditioning, and then moving right into spring ball and the team building that goes on there, and then moving into our summer program, and then where we are now. Our kids have met the challenge. You know, we're really, really happy about that. We never received any conscientious objection by any of our kids and any of the people in Greenville, and the way that they've supported us has just been great. You know, but I'd start with where our team is right now. We're behind a great leader at the quarterback position. He's been there now, you know, from January, since we got there, January, February. And they've done a good job of rallying around Philip Nelson. Great relationship with his team. He's the kind of guy that when you walk into a locker room, if he's sitting in the locker, there's 30 to 40 people around him listening to him. We're very happy to have him on our football team. The strength of our team this year, we do have a tremendous amount of talent, we feel, at the skill position, whether that be receiver, defensive back, or at a running back position. We know that we have to grow in our interior. We also understand how important it is to be able to run the ball a little bit on third down and short, and second and short, and throughout the base time of our offense. So we're looking forward to that. You know, defensively, we feel like we got some guys that can make plays for us. You know, everybody's going to look at what some people have written about our experience level throughout our team, and I think it's 4 on offense and a few more on defense that returning starters. Those are starters, but we do feel like we have guys that have played, that are experienced. Our front, defensive front, is going to be a lot stouter than it was last year, and then from a standpoint of our secondary, we're returning a lot of experience there with Bobby Falk and Simmons, and then, you know, we brought Deshaun Amos here. But it's one thing is special for our team, and I'm going to talk about Zay a little bit. We have what we feel one of the better players on our team is a wide receiver, Zay Jones. He's here with us today, and it's very unique to be in a place where you have one of your better players to be also one of your best people. And because of that, that provides a certain level of leadership, not only on his side of the ball, but throughout our team. Our coaching staff is in a situation where we understand we're competing not only against each other, room to room, but we're competing across the conference. And really happy to be on the stage with the men that are up here now, because what I've had the ability to do over the last 6 or 7 months is watch them all on tape, and what they've been able to accomplish and the teams that they've beaten. It's just, you know, it gives me great pride and great honor to stand on the same stand with these men. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Scottie. Matt Rhule of the defending East Division champs, Temple.
Thank you very much. I'd like to take this opportunity to talk about our players. I'm excited to get back on the practice field with them on Friday, and I think it really begins at Temple with our senior quarterback, Philip Walker. He's been known as PJ for several years, and he's asked us to start calling him Philip, so I'm doing the best I can. But Philip's a guy that started for us for 4 years, a tremendous competitor, a tremendous leader, and I think as a program we've made a decision to sort of turn him loose as a senior. Jihad Thomas, our all-conference running back, returns. They were high school teammates, and we're really excited to see those two guys get out there and play their senior year together. Deion Dawkins, who's also joined us, really a leader on our team, had some All-American honors last year. We think is one of the best left tackles in college football. We'll always be a defensive team. We've lost some great defensive players from last year. We returned 6 senior defensive linemen, and that'll be the strength of our team. Sean Chandler in the secondary, we moved from corner to safety. He's up for some national awards, and we hope that he'll be a playmaker that we'll need on defense. So we return a lot of guys who've played a lot of football for us. We're going to count on some young players to come in and fill their void. But we're excited. We're excited about the team, and we're excited about the conference and the teams that we play. You know, we talk a lot about our non-conference schedules. I'm here to talk about our conference schedules. There's no harder place that I've gone to play than when we went to Greenville last year. I've seen no speed like the speed we faced when we played South Florida last year. Cincinnati, the offense that they had last year. Coach Diaco, the defense that he's built at Connecticut, and Coach Frost and what UCF has done. I'm excited to play in this conference and to play against the teams in this conference. It'll be quite a challenge.
Very nice. And the preseason favorites in the East, Willie Taggart and USF.
Preseason favorite.
That's why you got this seat right here.
Well, I think with a lot of that, and I'm really excited because those kids that's in our program, this is our 4th year, our first senior class, and every single one of those kids, that senior class, they came to South Florida when we were 3-9. They really didn't have to come there. You know, I look at Marlon Mack, Quentin Flower, they came to our program when we were 2-10. They didn't have to come there. And all of those guys that's making plays for us now and helping our program, when they decided to come there, they wanted to make South Florida, they wanted to make those expectations high. They wanted to change where our program was at the time. And they all decided to come there when they could have went to a lot of other programs. So the vision that we had when we recruited all those kids and what they had is starting to come to light now, every year. And we have a motto that we're either getting better or you're getting worse. No one stays the same. And ever since I've been there, our football program has been getting better, not only on the field but off the field as well. And now, again, you have the expectation, and I hear a lot of folks ask, Coach, how are you going to handle it? We're going to embrace it because that's what we wanted. That's what these kids wanted, embrace that expectation, but also understand that it's going to take a lot of work to get there, and to be preseason pick. Last year we were picked 5th, and we knew then we had to go out and prove people wrong, and it's not about what everybody else necessarily think about us. It's what we think of ourselves and going out and living up to the expectations that we set for ourselves. And our guys from day one, they want to win a conference championship. That's something never been done at the University of South Florida, and something we all take pride in doing, and we know it's going to be tough. Tommy said it earlier, the parity in this league is, there's no easy game this year. There's no easy game every week. You can't point to any team in our conference and say that's a win. You got to come ready to play every single week, and that's a credit to coaches and administration in our conference. Our conference has been getting better every single year, So our team is taking pride in the expectation. I'm excited for our players because that's what they wanted when they decided to come to South Florida, and they didn't have to be there, and they're living up to it. And I'm excited about Quentin Flowers, the first time since I've been there, where we're going to have our starting quarterback back for another season, going into the season, and Marlon Mack, who's been the pillar of what we're building at South Florida. I'm excited to have him back, and along with a lot of other young guys. We still have a young football team. We brought a lot of freshmen in early, played them early, and now all of those guys are juniors. So they have experience, and I think the one best thing that we have is our guys love each other. Watching Quentin Flower come over to our office this summer, each day he was with a different teammate, or he had a group of receivers coming over to work. That's something I didn't ask him to do. He's doing it on his own. So he's growing in his role as a quarterback, and he's one of those kids that's been through a lot, but he really want to be the best at what he does. And he's holding his teammates accountable, doing the same thing. So excited about our football program, excited about our conference, excited to get started here in a couple of days. I know this time of year is always great. Before I left, I saw where they started to paint the field. So, it's that time you start to smell the grass. So really excited about this season and ready to roll.
He just mentioned, I'm glad you did, about there's a certain smell when that calendar turns to August. And Matt, we'll go back to you. What's your favorite thing about going into fall camp every year? Yep, good.
I would just say the time with the players. We have 126 guys on the team, 105 in camp, and we are all together from 6 a.m. till 10 o'clock at night. So it's really a time to have a singular focus, spend a lot of time together, meet new people, build new relationships, and hope that carries you through the fall.
What's your favorite, Bob, thing about fall practice? Bob, I'll go to you. Yeah.
Yeah, no, same thing Matt just said. I love being with the team. I love, just helping them be better than they would otherwise be by themselves. The time spent together, that strain, and doing it together and knowing that you're doing something really hard and accomplishing something together with the players and the coaches.
Scottie, I'm looking at this non-conference schedule. And obviously you come into a program first year and you want to, I guess there's just no easing into what you guys are doing with NC State and South Carolina, as well as Virginia Tech. Can you talk about, early on, and I guess the sense of urgency for your program right away here in September?
Our sense of urgency starts September the 3rd. So that's where we'll see the compass and truly where we are in our opening game against Western Carolina. But, we could spend time talking about them. But I know that those opponents that you just talked about, they don't want to face the men that are on this stage. So with all respect to whoever we have to play in week 2, 3, 4, 5, we're concentrating on game one and this conference, and that's what we know probably the most about. We've watched these guys on tape. I know who they've beaten. I played a game right after Matt. I know what type of coaching happens there. I've seen Willie's tape, and I know what kind of coach Frost is and Coach Tuberville is, and saw Bob hold guys to absolutely no yards at times. So I have a tremendous amount of respect for this conference. And we do have a tough schedule, but, that's what we want. We have a great atmosphere. We have a great culture. Coming into playing Greenville, I've done it. I don't know if a lot of other people have done it. It's special. It's a special a feeling for a lot of people outside the opposing team. It's great for us. So we're going to continue to do what we need to do in Greenville, at East Carolina, to make sure that our program continues to move forward.
Scott, what you guys did at Oregon was not only just phenomenal with the winning and the stats, but phenomenally entertaining to watch. How much of, when we see UCF on the field the first time in early September, how much are they going to resemble offensively what you guys were doing at Oregon for the last several years?
Well, we don't want to focus on a different team. We want to focus on UCF. But I think it's going to be exciting style. I think it's going to be a fun brand of football for recruits to want to come play in. It's going to be a fun brand of football for our fans to come watch. And we're looking forward to getting started. Our players dove into something new. They've embraced it. They love it. We're a family now. Everybody's having fun. A lot of those things are new for a lot of our kids in our program. And I think that's going to go a long way toward our success.
How is it taking over your own program for the first time and being the face of it and all the added responsibilities, as simple as stuff like this, going through media days and being out there constantly with different people pulling you in different directions all the time?
The only part that is sometimes frustrating is not being able to be a football coach. You have to do other things as a head coach. But I can tell you, if you have a good staff and you hire the right people and trust them to do their job, believe it or not, our programs would run without us there. I know mine's doing just fine with me here. I trust my guys back home to be getting the things done that need to get done. And I think if you have a good staff, it makes being a first-time head coach really easy.
When you talk about sustaining, not just for the conference, and we'll go to Matt with this, I mean, what you were able to do, Lincoln Financial Field, I mean, it's never been like that for a college football atmosphere like it was at Notre Dame. How do you kind of sustain not just the level of play on the field, but just that college atmosphere for regular students? Like, this is a place you want to come because we're a great football school. How do you, I guess, keep that going?
Well, I think you win. You play good football. People rallied around us in Philadelphia last year and on campus because they were excited about what we did on the field and the way we did it. There's no reason we shouldn't have a good football program. We owe it to the city. We're in the fourth largest media market. We're at a place in Philadelphia that loves football. They love to talk about football on sports talk radio. They like to talk about it every morning. So we owe it to them to play good football. And the way you sustain it is by being great in practice every day, is by recruiting the right kids, and by holding yourself to a really high standard. And people, I think, always want to be around that. It resonates with them. So we don't think people watched us last year or were excited about us because they liked us. We don't think they did it because for any other reason other than they appreciated the way we played football, and they liked to come watch. They liked to come watch us to win and play against great teams, and hopefully we can do that again this fall.
Willie, how do you get in? I guess how much thought do you give to, you get so many other things going on and winning football games and trying to win conference championships. How much thought do you give to, all right, building an atmosphere at USF where it's a destination for people to get butts in those seats at your stadium?
I think that's got to be part of the whole plan, is to get everyone to buy in. First you got to start with your team and get your team to buy in and get your team to go out and play the way that everyone wants your team to play. And then you start working from your fan base and your alumni to build it up to where they're excited about what you're doing, But and once you do that, then they'll start getting other people involved and want to be a part of it. But Matt said it best. I mean, everybody want to be associated with a winner, and you win ball games, you attract people to your stadium, and being there in Tampa, a great football city. A great sports city. People are excited about football, and it's fun. Now, being around there and seeing them excited about the Bulls again, and you knew what it could be there. And again, we're on progress to continue to build like we know we can, and getting the whole city behind us.
How much does that cross your mind, Scott, among the other millions of things? But we were kind of talking last night about UCF. This could be a place where if you turn it a little bit, it could be quite a destination for people who want a phenomenal college football Saturday experience.
Yeah, I just think we have to do our job. We have to do our job as football coaches and football players. Start playing a way that people can be proud of. Start winning games. Like I said, we're going to play a brand of ball that people want to be a part of. My AD, Danny White, has done a great job with changing our fan experience and doing things to upgrade our stadium, our facilities. People are going to want to come out, and we sit in a really good place because Orlando is such a large city. There's no pro football team there, so we get all the attention in town, and we have the largest undergrad student population in the country. So all we need is our students to come out, and the stadium's going to be pretty close to full every time we play.
Bob, some themes that we've talked about so far today are, this conference ending the year with 3 ranked teams, top 5 Heisman guy, National Defensive Player of the Year. We know what Houston and Temple and USF and Memphis with Paxton Lynch, all that. Can we expect that, is this conference, do you feel like, can we expect that same level of success and even better year after year?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why we wouldn't. Every time that I see change, that organization doubles down with better. So administrators are leaving, and more talented administrators are coming. Teams are improving and creating things on the field and a new history for themselves, rewriting a new history for themselves, and all they're doing is going back to work and putting more layers of production on top. So, I mean, if you talk to every one of us, you're going to hear about a quality winter conditioning and a very functional and quality spring football practice system, and then a really good summer conditioning workout. So we're all having the same conversations, doing the same things. Why wouldn't the results not only stay but also improve? So that's the way we operate. I'm sure these other coaches are the same, and the universities that they serve. I mean, we have one of the finest universities in the world. It's a large state university in a great demographic, and we're just trying to produce a football team representative in alignment with that already standard. So our teams are going to continue to get better. We're going to win a lot more than we lose. We're playing high-level schedules. You're going to see that right from the jump in our league. I know ourselves, we play Virginia, Syracuse, Boston College next year. So this is a super exciting time for UConn and a super exciting time for the American Conference.
Matt, I wanted to ask you about your thoughts on new practice guidelines and recommendations that are being put in place across the country to obviously make things safer and cut down on the injuries. What's your take on that?
I'm always 100% behind anything that is on behalf of student-athlete welfare. That being said, I never want to just acquiesce to thoughts and rumors. I want it to be science-based. And so, I think there's a fine, delicate balance. And so I think the guidelines are good. And I think most of the time there's a lot of misinformation out there. Most of us are already doing a lot of that. I think sometimes people think that it's, Friday Night Lights and we're all out there tackling each other to the ground every day and, bodies are laying everywhere. I mean, we are keenly aware of our student-athletes' health and safety. Sports science is everywhere within the coaching profession, and we're trying to make sure our kids are healthy and safe and having a great time. So most of the guidelines are just, representing what we're already doing. But that being said, I just think that it's kind of popular right now to say bad things about football. And so I don't want to always just acquiesce to that. I want it to be science-based. I want it to be independently done. But I think coaches will always stand up for their players.
Anybody want to add on to that? Obviously, one of the things being said is fewer full contact practices. And I'll be honest, the West Division coaches to that because it is certainly a topic right now. Scotty or Scott?
Well, I've kind of been on both sides, kind of watching what happens, being in pro ball After, you guys know, after week 7, we don't put anything on. We never did. But there's a different level of development. They are 26, 27, 28, 29-year-old men that have been doing it for a while. Now, from a standpoint of the physicality of our game, we also have to protect the welfare of our kids for the first time that they hit the field. If they're not prepared physically to go tackle another human, that's huge. So am I all for protecting our kids? Yes, the safety of our kids means everything to us, and everybody on the stage will be the same way. There's something that we knew from a research standpoint. Show us the research that is going to benefit our kids today, the long run, for the rest of their lives. We're all for it. But at the same time, we do understand the physicality that's going to happen on Saturday, and the first time that it happens can't be on Saturday.
Willie, how about full cost of attendance? That's another topic. What have you noticed in terms of change since that's kind of been put in place?
The guys are smiling a lot more. They're excited. I've seen some Gucci sandals,
Wow.
some nice jewelry. I think they're living well now. They have no excuses now. They should be happy and excited about what's going on. But it's been a good change for college football, and I think I know our players appreciate it, and it was one of those right thing to do, and our guys will benefit from it.
Is this enough, you think?
I don't know what's enough. I think when you go to school, if it was up to me, it would, and giving them cost of attendance, it'll have a lot to do with academics, and how they perform academically on if they get a certain amount of money. That's why they all go to school, is to get an education. Yeah, they're there to play football, and that's a bonus, but we all want them to graduate. We all have APRs and all, and I think we can't lose focus of why they're really there, So if it was up to me, it would be that. We probably have straight A's by everybody.
USF, Temple, and obviously UConn, sort of known for smash mouth, physical. Is the East Division maybe a little more black and blue than the West? Am I grasping for something, Matt, that is there or not there? That maybe the East Division a little more black and blue, the West Division's more high octane, fling it around. And as I say that, I'm thinking, Scott's going to run like 90 plays every game. So,
yeah, I'm not saying that. I mean, we played Houston last year, and I think they blitzed us when we got off the bus. I mean, they were hitting us. They were physical. I'm not saying one bad thing about Navy. I mean, those guys are as hard-nosed and blue-collar. I think this league is a physical league. And while we might have two backs under center, Coach Frost is going to come out here, and they're going to be as physical as any team in the country. Physicality and, that style comes in many different forms. It can look a lot different. But I know there's a bunch of competitive coaches and programs, and even meeting all the players, there's a lot of competitive players here. So this will be a physical black and blue league.
Scottie, I want to go back to what I asked Scott, and that is the opportunity to have your own program here and what that adjustment is like, being the face of the program, and where I guess everything's on your shoulders. If there's a 3 a.m. phone call, it's coming straight to your phone.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it. We look forward and embrace that, but that 3 a.m. phone call is one thing, but the ability that we have to shape and mold and form young men and make sure that they leave Greenville a better place than they found it, and then to develop a certain level of competitiveness in every single kid that comes through there, that they know that they have to use the rest of their lives. That's what I lean on. Are there some difficult decisions that are to be made? Yes. Am I finding out new things every single day? Yes. I lean on the mentors that I've had in this business in some of those situations, and you know what? They haven't had some of the situations to occur to them that I'm going through. So there's just a lot to learn every single day. We're embracing that. There's no way I could sit up here and tell you that I know everything that we're going to face and have to deal with. But one thing I'll tell our coaches is that none of us are as smart as all of us. So we'll combine and we'll do what we can do to make sure the combination of all the minds in the room and the things that happen, whether it's just our director of football operations or in recruiting, everything that we face is the first time for me in certain situations. We have great people to lean on.
Bob, one thing you mentioned is a fantastic school that UConn is. How do you, as a head football coach, we know how it is these days where you got to turn it or else something changes. But at the same time, you're trying to mold these kids and get them the best education and have them be, the most productive members of society as possible. How do you find that balance between, hey, I want to have good young men here, and, hey, we have to win football games right now?
They go hand in hand. You're not making a decision. I mean, that's kind of an outside looking in, and I think I speak for everybody that, I don't know that I've been on a team that there wasn't a direct correlation between academic achievement and achievement on the field. Most of your academic achievers also are the guys that catch that 3rd down and 10 when you really need it. They come up with that play or that interception when the game's on the line. Those are the guys that step up. These high achievers, these achievers in different areas, it also permeates into their athletic accomplishments and competition. So how do I reinforce it? If you don't go to class and I get emails about your malcontent attitude towards your academic resume, you're not going to play. We say, we see 3rd down. That's what we see. When I get an email that's disparaging about your production in the class, you think I'm going to count on you on 3rd down and 3 or in the low red zone? You can forget it. So it's going to affect your participation. If you're going to degrade the trust in our family and community in any area, you got a hard time having a strong community, having a strong team. So they're student athletes. They go hand in hand. The best part is we don't have to force it, because the high producers are typically also, not that they need to be able to launch a missile into outer space, but they care. They care about their academic reputation.
To that point, Scott, we'll go to you. Well, actually, it's not to that point. I'm going to jump on to another topic. But, one thing I asked the West Division coaches is about one thing they'd change with college football. And this conference can speak directly to expanding the playoffs. How much, because it is about academics as well, how much could we handle? Is a 16-team playoff realistic in Division I or FBS football right now?
I don't know if 16 teams is realistic. I would love to see it get to 8. I think there's some really good teams being left out, and I think anytime it's someone's judgment call on which team's better than another, I think you have a good chance of making a mistake. I think the more teams you get into that and let it be decided on the field, the better off you'll be. I think that would give more teams, like the champion from our conference, a chance to compete against the best and have a chance to win. To me, it also needs to be parity within the regular season scheduling to get there. Some conferences are playing 9-game conference schedules. Some are playing no conference championship. Some are playing 8 conference games and a 1 AA team week 8. That's not fair. If one team's playing 9, one team's playing 8, inevitably the conference that plays 9, half the teams are going to have one more loss at the end of the year. That's just math. I really think somebody needs to step in and make it fair. I would love to see it go to 8 and give more teams a chance to get hot at the end of the year and win a championship.
Matt, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I have 2 perspectives. I was on the 1994 Penn State football team that went undefeated, won the Rose Bowl, and finished second to, I believe it was Nebraska.
It was Nebraska.
Because there was no at the time. So I think what we have is an improvement. I was also an FCS coach at Western Carolina University. Be nice to my boys, please, Coach. You play them first game, I believe. But and I loved my time there. And we had I think it was a 16-team playoff. And so, you could get 2 or 3 teams from a league into the playoffs, and you settled it on the field. And so I would love to see that. I would love to see everything settled on the field, and I think you could still protect the bowl system. But so I know it's doable to at least expand it to 8 and maybe someday 16. And I think it's a great thing in 1 AA football, so it would probably be a great thing in FBS football.
Your thoughts on that, Willie? Anything you want to add?
Again, I was, like Matt said, I was a part of, I was at Western Kentucky, and we won a national championship going through the playoff there in 2002, and it was a great experience, and I think like all of us, you want it fair. You want to give more people an opportunity to go out and compete, and I think if you look at any other playoff system out there, there's more than 4 teams in it, so it's unique to have 14, but I think it's better to have more and give. Again, the great game of football, college football is one of the best. It is one of the best sports out there, and I think everybody loves it. You look at all the money put into it, and I think it'd, again, be better if we just had more opportunity for more teams. If
you were the president of the NCAA, any other changes you would make besides that in college football?
Oh, yeah.
We got 5 minutes left, so
I would make it fair. I would distribute the money equally amongst everyone in FBS football.
So Alabama and USF are getting the exact same.
You'll see a lot changes then. A lot of changes. You're exactly right.
Anything else?
I think that's all we need. We make it fair. And, again, I think our team and every guy up here can compete against the best out there. You know, the only thing that separates us from those schools is finance. And finance.
Scott Frost, can you add to that? Anything you'd change?
I just think a lot of rules need to be addressed and monitored a little better to make sure the playing field's level. I wouldn't take quite so much of a Bernie Sanders approach to the money distribution, but I think that's going to change anyway. I think as the TV model changes, potentially people are going to be able to tune into just what they want to see rather than what TV's put on. And I think that'll even out the money with the people that deserve it. I believe in a meritocracy, and I hope our conference can continue to push the envelope on what we're able to provide for our schools and student athletes. But I also think that you have to earn that.
Matt, anything from you? Anything you'd change?
Tough question today. I would standardize college football akin to what Scott said. I would have the same scheduling rules amongst all conferences. I would standardize officiating. When each conference wouldn't be different, their interpretations. All of college football would be, in my opinion, run the same way. And I would make the game very similar to the NFL game. I'd have the hashes the same. I think one of our jobs is we develop men, we develop great students. I also want to develop professional football players. So I think making the game similar makes a lot of sense to me.
How about you, Bob?
Without getting too political, I would consider a standardized teaching progression for youth and high school football as it relates to tackling and contact. I would consider a way to have the AFCA become a larger voice, the Coaching Association, American Football Coaches Association, become a larger voice in coordination with the governances and bodies that are really making the decisions. We've got great people that leading that organization with great ideas and a player-first mentality, and also a game integrity mentality with great ideas. We could standardize a formal developmental system for our younger coaches, help them become better at teaching and standard fundamental teaching progression for again, contact situations. Without talking about the national landscape, it seems, without a congressional intervention, it makes sense to me that teams from the Northeast play each other, and the Central East play each other, and the Southeast play each other, and go right across the country. And I think you could be a fan following a university all the way till the end. So 16 teams would need 16 conferences that all had parity. I don't see that ever happening. But it's a neat idea.
Absolutely. And Scotty, finally, to you.
Yeah, there's they've all hit kind of the main points, but there are certain rules in recruiting as it relates to the men that are sitting on this stage and what we're able to do on the road in recruiting at certain times of the year, and the stress that recruiting puts on our assistants. There are some things that we could do to help that. So I'll leave it kind of open as far as saying that everybody on the stage knows exactly what I mean. But there are certain things they could do to help us.
Very nice. Guys, really appreciate your time. Thanks for your candid answers and for being up here with us. Have a great day if you want to.